This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Breaking news to tell you about from Crown Heights. Crews there on the scene where a drilling rig has tipped over. And Mayor Eric Adams meeting with Border Czar Tom Homan. This is fears of more deportations intensify within the migrant community. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Antoine Lewis. Welcome to the News Block. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, let's take a live look outside right now where we see it's kind of gray, Liv Johnson, as we look at that, but clear-ish, right?
It's clearing. Yeah, it's getting a little better out there. It's better than what we were having this morning, the remnants of the system that moved through overnight. A little bit of some rain, some fog, some drizzle, and we did see a little bit of snowfall last night, just nothing that stuck. So yeah, like we were saying, it's clearing up a little bit. We will have those clouds break up, and tomorrow will be nice and sunny, but we won't be enjoying this warm up that we have right now. So that is the plus side. While it is cloudy and a little wet, at least we're about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago. Currently sitting at 43 degrees in New York City. We have 43 at Long Island as well. Still stuck in the 30s for Hartford and Poughkeepsie, but just barely 37 and 38 in those areas, and then 45 down the shore in New Jersey. We'll get just a little warmer for a high of 47 in New York, 49 for Newark, and 49 up in Poughkeepsie. So it's a little bit warmer than average. Usually we just get a high of 42, so it's nice to be above average for a change. Winds have picked up a little bit. It's still not a big story for us today, but it has gotten a little bit more breezy. As our night goes on, we'll feel some stronger wind and some wind gusts, and then tomorrow definitely going to be breezy. Wind gusts as high as 25 to 30 miles an hour. Like I said, Friday is going to be clear and sunny, just breezy and cool. And then Saturday, we have a similar system that's going to move through the area, similar to what we saw last night and a few days before that, where we get a little bit of some snow mixed in with some sleet and ice, eventually turning into all rain by Sunday. And then we're going to go through that same roller coaster with temperatures as well. Back to you, Antoine.
Oh, dear. All right, Liv, we'll see you in a moment. Breaking news to tell you about now. The Manhattan U.S. attorney has resigned. Now, the sudden move comes just days after President Trump's Justice Department issued an order to drop the case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Linda Schmidt is covering all of this in the newsroom. A lot to go on so far. Well, what do we know, Linda?
Yeah, a lot going on, a lot of breaking news. It seems every day there, Antoine. Well, today it is the top federal prosecutor here in Manhattan resigning today rather than obey the order from the U.S. Justice Department to drop corruption charges against Mayor Adams. Now, we are talking about Danielle Sassoon, a Republican who was the interim U.S. attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Now, her abrupt resignation comes just days after the DOJ directed the office to drop the case against Adams, in which he is accused of accepting illegal campaign contributions and bribes of free or discounted travel from Turkish nationals who wanted to buy his influence. President Trump's Justice Department wanted the case dropped, saying the mayor needed to help carry out the president's immigration policies and that the case was politically motivated to hurt the mayor's chances of winning re-election in November. Now, earlier this week, I interviewed a criminal defense lawyer about this story and about the DOJ's decision to drop the charges against the mayor, and he predicted the DOJ's decision was going to create, quote, a mess at the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Manhattan because career investigators say that they have a concrete case against the mayor, and now they are being ordered to drop it. Well, it looks like today's resignation could be part of that mess. Antoine, back upstairs to you.
Very interesting, Linda. Thank you so much. Well, Mayor Eric Adams is meeting with Trump administration's Border Czar Tom Homan today. Now, this is video of the mayor pulling into ICE headquarters in Lower Manhattan earlier this morning. He went through the parking garage, this to avoid reporters. Right before he arrived, the City Council Common Sense Caucus met with Homan, as well as the caucus is made up of Republicans and one moderate Democrat. Now, the caucus says they discussed how New York City could do away with its sanctuary city laws. New York leaders are firing back against the Department of Justice. On Wednesday, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a lawsuit against Governor Kathy Hochul, State Attorney General Letitia James, and DMV Commissioner Mark Schroeder, alleging that they failed to enforce federal immigration law. James says state law protects the rights of all New Yorkers. Today, Governor Hochul was supposed to head to D.C. to meet with the president, but reportedly canceled this trip after this lawsuit was announced.
New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. They have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over.
Again, this all comes on the heels of Mayor Adams' meeting with Border Czar Tom Homan today to discuss ongoing ICE efforts. We're also following breaking news this afternoon out of Brooklyn, where a drilling rig is tipped over on Brooklyn Avenue in Crown Heights. The FDNY is telling us there are no injuries, and the Department of Buildings is on the scene investigating. Now, we're going to have much more on that coming up on the 5 o'clock news. And developing in Germany, at least 30 people, including children, are hurt after a driver plows into a labor union demonstration in Munich this morning. Police opened fire on the driver and took him into custody at the scene. The suspect is a 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker and has a history of drug and theft charges. This incident follows a series of attacks involving migrants in recent months that have pushed immigration issues to the forefront of Germany's election taking place later this month. Here in New York, police make an arrest after a gruesome discovery in the East River. 23-year-old Christian Malay is charged with murder. Investigators say that he killed 65-year-old Edwin Echevarria and stuffed parts of his body into a suitcase. Now, someone spotted the suitcase floating near Governor's Island last week and called the police. Police say that the men lived in the same building in Manhattan and apparently had an ongoing dispute. The MTA trying another new approach to crack down on fare beaters at the City Hall Chambers Street subway station. The agency has installed crescent-shaped metal shields to subway turnstiles, adding a few inches of height to the fare gate. This to try and stop people from jumping over it. Fare evasion costs the MTA more than $500 million a year, and according to the independent news website The City, it cost the agency more than $360 million last year on subways alone. Now to the Middle East. Hamas claims it will free 3 more hostages as planned this weekend. This after previously threatening to delay the next release and accusing Israel of violating its ceasefire agreement. Fox's Greg Palcott has more.
A fragile Gaza ceasefire had been on shaky ground this week. Hamas indicated it would pause the release of Israeli hostages because of a dispute over the amount of aid entering the Gaza Strip. But the group reversed course on Thursday, saying it will now release 3 more hostages as planned. Mediators are hoping that will be enough to get Israel fully back on board after defense officials here threatened a major escalation.
The new Gaza war will be different in intensity and will not end without the defeat of Hamas.
But the future of the ceasefire is still in doubt, with President Trump pushing for Hamas to release all hostages this week, claiming, quote, all hell will break out if that doesn't happen. Some relatives of the hostages say they're grateful for the president's new push.
I hope the ultimatum we heard from Trump will speed the negotiation.
But others say it only puts their loved ones at greater risk, and Israel should hold up its end of the deal.
I am totally amazed. I don't know what Trump wants.
Meanwhile, Palestinians in Gaza remain defiant, saying they refuse to be displaced, and they're determined to remain on their land despite President Trump's proposal to move them to Egypt and Jordan.
We will not leave. We will remain here, staying above the rubble, stones, and iron. We will remain in our homeland in Gaza, even if Trump offers us the whole world.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is scheduled to arrive in Israel on Saturday to work on moving the peace process forward. In Tel Aviv, Greg Palcott, Fox 5 News.
On Capitol Hill, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed as Secretary of Health. Now, the Senate's final vote was 52-48 after Kennedy was grilled by Democratic lawmakers during his Senate hearings. Kennedy has faced controversy over some of his views, including vaccine recommendations and food safety. The 71-year-old claims his vision in the role will be to make America healthy again by directing public health agencies to focus on chronic diseases. The Senate Judiciary Committee voting to advance Kash Patel's nomination to be the next director of the FBI. The Senate panel voted along party lines 12-10, clearing a key hurdle in Trump's quest for Patel to be the next FBI director. Patel's nomination now advances to the Senate floor for a full vote. And gangrene is going in a different direction at quarterback. The New York Jets will release 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers after June 1st. Now, the future Hall of Famer will then become a free agent. In a statement released by head coach Aaron Glenn and general manager Darren Mugie, the two men stated that they informed the 4-time MVP after meeting with him last week in New Jersey. Gangrene is scheduled to pick 7th in the upcoming NFL draft. Day 2 of spring training for the Yanks in Tampa. Pitcher Garrett Cole throwing live batting practices this year with starting catcher Austin Wells. This is the second time Cole will pitch to live batters in Tampa, getting in front of his schedule this season, which will create less risk of getting hurt. Now, this is preventative after missing last year with a right arm injury. All right, 3:10 on your afternoon. Let's go back outside and bring Liv in as we talk about this weather and what you had say is coming up here, this mix or whatever it is there.
Yeah, we have another mix on Saturday, just a repeat of what we keep getting. So for now, though, we have high pressure that's going to move in and keep us dry for tomorrow. So that's a little bit of good news. Now, it is going to be a lot cooler and also very breezy, but at least skies will be clear. And then that mix that we were just talking about Saturday looks like between 11 and 4 p.m. We might start seeing a little bit of some snow action. Right now, totals don't look like that much, but it's still a little early to tell. Eventually, it will turn into all rain, just like all the previous systems that we've been experiencing, and that will last into Sunday. So it's a pretty wet weekend overall. Into your Sunday morning, that rain will still be in the area. And then the start of the week, at least Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday look dry. Lows tonight are in the 20s, 28 for New York and 24 up in the Hudson Valley. Highs tomorrow, a lot cooler. We have 36 degrees for New York, Belmar, and just a high of 33 for Poughkeepsie. And then Saturday, that's when that snow to rain comes in. Sunday, warming up again, just like what we had today is what we're having on Sunday, and then cooling back down for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where at least be dry and sunny, but a lot cooler.
And Liv, also, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, so that looks clear, and that's good
news. Right, it's clear. It's just going to be bitter cold.
Bitter cold. All right. Another reason to warm up and hug someone. All right.
Exactly.
Thanks, Liv. A special delivery to tell you about on a subway train in Manhattan. The MTA says that a 25-year-old actually went into labor while on an Uptown W train at the 34th Street Herald Square stop around 11:30 yesterday morning. Witnesses say that some quick-thinking Good Samaritans all jumped into action to help deliver the baby, along with carrying transit workers and other responders. Now, the New York Times is reporting that the mom is from Florida, and her family reported her missing since last summer. They want her to know that she can return home. We understand that both mom and her newborn baby girl were taken to a local hospital and are doing well. French pastry chef and chocolatier Jacques Torres serving up some sweet treats to strap hangers today. He teamed up with some MTA workers to hand out over 2,000 chocolate hearts down in the subway earlier this morning, all part of an initiative by the MTA to show appreciation to riders. That is our news block for this afternoon, so you know it's going to be a mix coming up at some point, so be prepared for that. Tomorrow looks clear, and another reason to hug somebody that you love, or find someone to. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Tune into the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on the Fox Local for all of today's headlines. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. I'm Antoine Lewis. Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon.